Hello and welcome to the Climbing Daily Friday Gear Show and Happy New Year. Today we're going to be looking back at some of the gear we filmed and used last year and picking a few of our highlights. Every week we try to bring you interesting and informative content covering gear from shoes all the way up to cams and portaledges. What we like to do is test gear in the environment that it's designed for, and as much as possible we get out and film it. Now, I started climbing on the crags around Sheffield, short single pitch climbing using gear, and I missed that moving to Europe. So when Black Diamond announced they've got a new C4 and we had to come up with a filming idea, well, single pitch trad was the obvious answer. I got to go up to a small esoteric crag above Chamonix and try out the new C4s. So we've come up the hill from the valley to Roc des Eaux, which is a trad crag in the Chamonix Valley. And this is kind of rare because out here there aren't many single pitch trad specific crags. So this is a bit esoterical, it's a bit weird, it's a bit dirty, not many people come here, but it is the perfect place to test out the Black Diamond C4 cams. Now I've supplemented these bad boys with a few items from my own rack, and we're going to try this 6B route. Now here they only grade it via French sport grade, so feel free to convert 6B with a crack into whatever English trad grade you want. Okay, let's do this. So, blue time, I think. Nice big solid bomber C4 there. Yeah. All right. Okay, so time for green. Quite high up. This is where the thumb loop that I chatted about earlier, that's where it comes in. Hey. Bloody hell, Mum, I'm hand jamming. This isn't something you see often, ladies and gentlemen, I'll tell you that much. A hand jam on a mat groom climb. I don't do that. All right. Look at that. Lovely little placement. Bit run out at this point, so quite pleased to see that. A mega bit of exposure at the end. Come on, Jax. Come on, Jax. Hey, Jax. So here they are, the new C4 cams from Black Diamond. Now these are 10% lighter than the old model, and yet still with the same durability that made the old C4s famous. They come in a range of sizes from super tiny to super big, and the really big ones have got Black Diamond's new latch catch system where they stay closed until you touch the trigger. So you've got a huge cam on you, it doesn't get in the way. Perhaps one for our American brothers and sisters. They're beautiful cams, dual axles, which means you can place them fairly passively, and they make the perfect alpine climbing weapon. I absolutely love them, and if you guys liked the old C4, then you're gonna love these. Now, lots of clothing companies come up with special names to describe the families of clothing that they're creating, and Arcteryx are no different. During the summer, we spent time at the Arcteryx Lakeland Revival in the Lake District in the UK. We sat down with Arcteryx expert Ross, who took us through the different types of families of clothes available for Arcteryx. And during the interview, we decided that it's not all about just getting the most expensive jacket. You need to pick the one that's right for you.
Okay, so let's start at the top. Let's start with the families.
For sure.
What's their names and what do they do?
Yeah, great. So we go through like 3 families, I guess. So we've got Alpha, Beta and a Zeta. Now the Alpha is very much focused around climbing. The Beta tends to come down the mountain just towards mountaineering, but more on your feet rather than vertical. And then the Zeta is like a really good general purpose outdoor product.
So if we're going to split this into people who might use it, Alpha, I presume, is maybe someone like me. So I'm going alpine climbing or cragging and it might get wet.
For sure, yeah. So Alpha, you know, the Alpha product, like as a shell product, yeah, it's a fully featured Gore-Tex mountaineering product, you know, with specific features that gear it towards climbing vertical pieces, yeah.
And Beta, I'm imagining hill walking, but it's not quite that, is it? It's a bit more technical.
Yeah, so Beta just sort of comes down the mountain. It's really the change from, like, you know, climbing vertically using your hands and your feet to then sort of mountaineering, you know, still using a lot of the same gear, harnesses, you know, ice axes, all that sort of stuff, but maybe just not as vertical for climbing, yeah.
Okay, so like maybe Scottish 3 on a nice day when it's not going to blow a blizzard in your face.
For sure, yeah. Beta's going to take you, you know, through all the mountains, you know, all the terrain. Yeah, some good rugged terrain.
And then the final one, what was it?
Zeta. Yeah.
Zeta, right.
Yeah, so Zeta takes you again down the mountain, like a really good general purpose outdoor coat.
Okay, so I live in Chamonix. I see a lot of mountain guys wearing the SV. I said I've got one, but I really don't think I'd necessarily put it to the test. So if I'm a normal person, which I am, buying a jacket, you don't necessarily need to go high end just because it's going to last you and it's the best, because it might not actually fit the style of climbing you do.
Totally. And this is one of the things that, you know, we see quite often is there's sort of an aspirational product. Alpha SV, it's got a lot of the bells and whistles that a lot of people want, and so you look to go for that. But actually for a lot of people, it's going to be way overkill for what they need. You know, it's got 7 pockets, it's got 100 denier face fabric, it's oversized as well because it's made for the middle of winter. It's actually a lot bigger than a medium, you know, so a medium in an SV versus a medium in an LT, they're going to be hugely different. So actually you need to buy appropriate to the activity you're doing, not just sort of like, that's shiny and I want that.
I did want to take this moment to thank Arcteryx. They are our main sponsor for the show. They're always super supportive, the people are lovely, and they make fantastic kit. I am lucky enough to wear it every single day, and honestly, I would not want to go into the mountains without it on me. Thank you so much to Arcteryx. Now, Mad Rock are a brand that tend to polarize people. Those of us who know love them, and for me, the Mad Rock drone is a fantastic bouldering shoe. Now, during Outdoor in the Summer in Munich, I had a look at Mad Rock's new prototype shoe. This thing has got a removable outer. As you can imagine, I was quite excited. So we're starting our adventure into innovation and newness here at Outdoor at Mad Rock with one of the coolest concepts I've ever seen, because it's not often that someone reinvents the shoe, literally. So check this out, this is called the Vision, and it is a modular system. So it's injection molded rubber, and to develop this, it's taken a long time of working out how you injection mold rubber, because it was impossible a few years ago. So it comes in 2 sections. You get the sole here, which is science fiction rubber, and then you can add to it the inner of your choice. So currently we've got this awesome looking weave, but think about the possibilities of this shoe. It means that one day I'm going bouldering, I want my softest outer sole and I want a soft inner to go for my overhanging boulder problem. The next day, I want a sport route, I want something stiffer, I can just switch it around. Also, the possibilities for resoling is huge. I mean, shoes are expensive nowadays, and if you go through it, you have to resole it, you have to go through all that faff. With this new system, you simply buy another outer and slip it on. Now, this is in its development phase. This is a complete concept. It's not real yet, but hopefully it will be soon. And there's no idea where we're going to take this technology and where Mad Rock are going to go with it. Is this the future of climbing shoes, this modular system, or is it a complete fad? I've got no idea, but I love it, and I like the innovation that Mad Rock have done with this product. Pretty cool. What do you think of that? I am excited but a little bit skeptical. There's lots of things to work out. And although I know it's a prototype, Quite how they're going to secure the outer onto the inner and make sure it doesn't slip around, I don't know. But it is a brilliant idea, very, very cool, and one to watch out for in the future. Now, when we're talking about gear, we've got to talk about trips. And one of the best climbing daily trips that I did last year was to China with Vibram to visit their factory there. I love factory tours. It's so easy with gear just to put it on, use it, and not think about the process behind it. But there's a whole R&D and development and making process that goes on. It's seriously complicated stuff, and I like seeing those behind the scenes moments. So when we're in China, we got shown around the factory, and they locked me in a giant freezer.
Oh my goodness. Joe, how cold is it in this room?
It's -20 more or less.
It's -20, right, okay. Well, I've gone from sweaty to the sweat's now frozen onto me. Very quickly, before my fingers fall off, what is this room all about?
This room is about ice, so it's about Arctic grip. We want to test the grip on wet ice and on ice.
Okay, so I've got normal Vibram shoes on, and then they're like an over one that improves it. Okay.
Yeah.
God, it's cold. Right, let's get them on. Let's get them on. Okay.
How cold is it?
I'll be honest, it's really cold. I left Chamonix yesterday, expecting tropical heat, and I'm back, and Jerome's left. Everyone's left. I don't know what I'm doing. I just want to point out, Hugo, the cameraman, also has only got a t-shirt on, because apparently if I'm suffering, he's suffering. Alright, okay. Special shoes on.
Let's have a look at the soles.
Sorry?
Let's have a look at the soles. Oh, nice.
Alright. Oh, come on. I mean, look. I turned my back for 1 second to put on my special shoes, and he's got a down jacket. Don't throw water on it.
More realistic.
Okay. Careful.
And now,
We're gonna hold.
Yes. You need to climb too, huh?
What's that dance move?
Yeah. Do the moonwalk.
The moon. I can't do the moonwalk. It's great. That's amazing. No, but genuinely, that's amazing. Okay, right. Let's do something proper. You ready?
Yeah.
Such a good time, and the after party was amazing. Thank you, Vibram, for inviting us. We've actually got a video coming up in the next couple of months from them looking at the shoe or climbing shoe re-soling process, so keep an eye out for that. Finally, we've got to talk about Petzl, and specifically the Grigri. Now, whenever we seem to put out a Grigri video, you guys go absolutely nuts, and that's fair enough. It is a wonderful device. It works fantastically, and it must be the most popular assisted braking device on the market. When Petzl dropped their newest Grigri into the market, it was done surprisingly without much of a splash. They didn't really shout about it or market it that much. They just simply improved something that was already very good. Instead of calling it the Grigri 3 or something silly, they just called it the Grigri. It's an updated version of the Grigri 2. Check it out. Okay, so Grigri 3. Why is it different? What have they upgraded? And what have they learned? What have they changed with this new device? Trying to make myself invisible. So the Grigri 3 is 30% smoother at lowering than the Grigri 2. And that's because they've learned from the Grigri Plus, and they've totally redone the innards, the insides of the Grigri. You can see it looks different from the Grigri 2. Different material, a much smoother material. There's a much wider gap at the top, and there's this little extra bar that helps feed the rope round properly. It's all just been tweaked and redesigned to optimize your rope feed through the system. And while we talk about ropes, that has been changed as well. It can now take ropes from 8.5mm to 11mm. Now, I always reckon with all the Grigris, if you're using a rope at the extremes of that spectrum, it's not going to perform as well. There's a sort of middle ground optimization where your rope is better. But Grigri and Petzl have thought about that. They've realized that most climbers use one rope, and I'm the same with this. I've got my Tendon Master Pro that I use outside, and then if I go into the gym, I tend to take that rope as well. And it's round about the 9.2mm width. So what they've done is they've gone, okay, so most climbers use one rope, that rope might be a little bit thicker, and they've optimized the performance for that middle ground of rope. It's something that's very, very subtle and not shouted about, but it is an upgrade on the Grigri 3. Trying to make myself invisible. Petzl basically made the best better, and I'm very impressed with those improvements on the new device. It does make a difference, and I've been using it all of this year. So that's it for today's little look back. I hope you enjoyed that. I hope it sparked a few memories for you guys. Do let us know in the comments below the kind of gear that you want us to be looking at for the future, and is there something coming up that we should be following? Let us know and we'll do our best to film it for you. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you soon.